Let's get straight on with economic news. And the report from the University of York is, as if it should come as a surprise to anybody, that more than half of UK households will be in fuel poverty by the new year, according to a new report that they have released. So this is a study co-authored by Jonathan Bradshaw of the Social Policy Research Unit at the University of York. And they're saying that as we say, fuel poverty for 50% of the population in the new year. Of course, this is as a result of the continuing rises in the cap on fuel costs and so on, coming from Ofgem. So they're expecting 18 million families, 45 million people will struggle to make ends meet by then. So I think the BBC today was suggesting that prices would go up to about £3,600 annually for fuel costs, from whatever it is. At the moment, the average is something around £1,400 a year. And I mean, this has got to have a massive impact on people, particularly if we look at this article from the BBC, the headlining it, growing share of under 30s pay unaffordable rent. And this is saying that people under 30 are facing growing cost of renting crisis. 4 in 10, so 40% in that age group, are now spending more than 30% of their pay on rent, and that's a 5-year high. But one thing that the BBC doesn't mention in this article, Patrick, is that in June this year, Property Mark released some statistics talking about the number of properties available to rent through agents, and that basically from 2019 to 2022, which is the same period that this BBC article is talking about, 94% of landlords who removed their properties from the rental market did so to sell them, because they're potentially in the position that the rents that they can command no longer, and with rising interest rates and so on, no longer cover the rental, the mortgage repayments. But basically, they're saying that the number of properties available to rent has more or less halved in that time, from 2019 to 2022. So the cost of living crisis isn't just about inflation and the cost of in the sense of the cost of energy, but also the fact that availability of properties to rent is becoming quite a critical issue. I mean, we know in Plymouth, I know personally around a dozen people that are being evicted at the moment as a result of properties being sold out from under them. So this is clearly not a problem it's being fairly underreported. It's not a problem that's sort of restricted to the southeast of England by any means.
Well, when you restrict the supply of anything, what happens to the price? It normally goes up,
yes,
which is a perfect storm during an economic downturn. But the big problem here, Mike, is what's the government's answer? What's their solutions for skyrocketing exorbitant energy costs, basically highway robbery for working class families? What's their answer? Have they come up with any solutions?
£400, I think, is the answer.
A £400 what, voucher for Christmas or something?
Well, people are getting it as cash if they're paying by direct debit, but if they're on a pay-as-you-go meter, then they're getting a voucher, yes.
And what's that going to do to inflation, printing up all that money?
But the point is that it's not going to even come close to dealing with the problem. It's really a gesture at best.
You'll end up paying over $1,500 in inflation over the year,
yes,
for what the government's printing up to give away a £400 voucher. That's the point. Printing up money and giving vouchers is not a solution to out of control energy markets. It's just going to get worse. These governments and these ministers have no solutions at all.
Correct.